What happens when the world's largest superpower picks an economic fight with the master of global manufacturing? The answer is chaos, and a glimpse into the high-stakes world of modern trade wars. Picture this. The U.S. imposes aggressive tariffs, expecting to bring manufacturing home, but China fires back with a rare earth export ban, hitting the backbone of American tech, energy, and defense industries. This isn't just a political battle. It's a showdown that could redefine global power. And here's the kicker. It's not just about rare earths or tariffs. What unfolds next is a web of retaliations, strategic gambits, and economic ripples that leave no industry untouched. Trade wars often seem like a game of chess, but with far higher stakes. In February 2025, the United States took a bold step, introducing a 10% tariff on Chinese imports, a move that sent shockwaves through the global economy. This wasn't a standalone decision. It followed tariffs targeting Canada and Mexico, justified as measures to address illegal immigration and drug trafficking. Yet behind the official rhetoric lies a larger picture. These tariffs ripple far beyond political borders, shaking industries reliant on seamless trade flows and raising questions about long-term economic stability. Take a moment to consider how these policies disrupt the delicate balance of exports and imports. When tariffs are imposed, it's like placing a toll booth on a highway. Sure, traffic slows, but the destination remains the same. For industries like semiconductors or automotive manufacturing, this delay can mean millions in losses and a scramble to find alternative suppliers. Rare earth materials, essential for renewable energy and advanced tech, aren't immune to this turmoil either. With tariffs stacking up, these sectors could face bottlenecks that reverberate throughout supply chains, leaving global markets scrambling for solutions. Yet there's something deeper at play here, a strategic reshuffling of power. Tariffs on Chinese goods signal not just economic competition, but a shift toward domestic manufacturing and reduced reliance on imports. But every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and history has shown that retaliation is almost guaranteed. This tension sets the stage for what's next, how other nations respond when their economic lifelines are under siege. Will they strike back with their own tariffs? Or could there be more calculated, long-term maneuvers that alter the trade landscape forever? Retaliation in global trade is like a domino effect. One move triggers countless others. Following the U.S. tariffs, China, Canada, and Mexico wasted no time expressing their opposition. China, in particular, highlighted the mutual harm that trade wars inflict, likening them to a double-edged sword. Meanwhile, Canada and Mexico adopted sharper tactics, with Canada leading boycotts against American goods. These actions sent a clear message. No nation would take such measures lying down. This unfolding economic chess match underscores the fragility of international alliances when economic stakes are raised. What's fascinating is how quickly these nations adapted their strategies. Canada, for instance, shifted focus towards strengthening trade ties with the EU and Asia, aiming to reduce its reliance on the U.S.-China. On the other hand, started leveraging its dominance in rare earth exports, subtly reminding the world of its critical role in global supply chains. The automotive and semiconductor industries felt the brunt of these shifts, with increased costs and disrupted production cycles threatening their competitiveness. These ripple effects showcase how intertwined global economies truly are, even in moments of conflict. The question now is how far this retaliation could escalate. Will the world see more boycotts, higher tariffs, or even restrictions on exports crucial to U.S. industries? The answers could shape the future of industries like renewable energy and high-tech manufacturing. Want to stay ahead of the curve and understand these critical developments? Make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications, because understanding these dynamics could set you apart as someone truly in the know. The automotive industry, often viewed as a symbol of innovation and globalization, now finds itself caught in the crossfire of a trade war. U.S. tariffs on key imports have sent shockwaves through this sector, with major players like Volkswagen raising alarms about economic disruptions. These tariffs act like a hidden tax on production, driving up costs for manufacturers and ultimately consumers. It's a classic case of unintended consequences. While the goal might be to strengthen domestic industries, the global supply chain takes a direct hit, leaving no player unscathed. Think about the complexity behind every vehicle you see on the road. Components like semiconductors, sourced globally, are vital for modern cars, especially electric vehicles. When tariffs disrupt this supply chain, it's not just about rising prices. It's about delayed production, shrinking profit margins, and a cascade of economic uncertainty. Rare earth materials, essential for batteries and electric motors, face similar challenges, tightening the grip on industries trying to adapt to renewable energy demands. This is more than an industry problem. It's a wake-up call for the entire global economy. The most striking part? These disruptions are just the beginning. With increasing tariffs and retaliatory measures on the horizon, the automotive industry faces a future riddled with uncertainties. How will manufacturers navigate this storm? And what will it mean for consumers who crave affordability and innovation? The answers might not be clear yet, but the stakes couldn't be higher. Rare earth elements, those hidden gems of the modern world, took center stage in China's strategic retaliation. By banning exports of these vital resources, China sent a loud and clear message. It holds the cards in this high-stakes trade game. These materials, critical for everything from semiconductors to renewable energy systems, form the backbone of industries driving innovation today. Coupled with reduced oil imports from the U.S., China's move wasn't just reactive. It was a calculated strike aimed at disrupting the American economy at its core. The domino effect of this decision was both immediate and far-reaching. Industries reliant on rare earths, such as the automotive and electronic sectors, found themselves grappling with soaring costs and dwindling supplies. Renewable energy projects, which depend on rare earths for components like wind turbines and electric vehicle batteries, faced delays that underscored the fragility of global supply chains. Simultaneously, the U.S. oil market faced mounting pressure, forcing policymakers to reassess export strategies and energy diplomacy. What's truly remarkable is how this retaliation exposed the vulnerabilities of even the most advanced economies. Rare earths, often taken for granted, have become the new battleground for global influence. The question now is whether this pressure will spark innovation or further entrench divisions among global powers. The stakes couldn't be higher as this trade war evolves, and the world watches for what comes next. When tariffs climb to 100%, the message is clear. It's not just business. It's a battle of economic priorities. The U.S. decision to target Chinese electric vehicles and key components like lithium-ion batteries and semiconductors sent shockwaves through global industries. Electric vehicles, once seen as the future of clean transportation, suddenly faced massive price hikes, making them less accessible to consumers. Behind the scenes, the U.S. aimed to shift the narrative, prioritizing domestic manufacturing over global imports, even if it meant temporarily rocking the boat. The ripple effect of these tariffs is nothing short of extraordinary. Chinese EV manufacturers, previously dominant in the market, were forced to rethink their strategies, while U.S. firms scrambled to capitalize on a new landscape. Semiconductors, the lifeblood of modern technology, became a focal point as domestic production saw an uptick. Yet this came at a cost. Supply chains, already stretched thin, were now grappling with delays, costlier materials, and heightened uncertainty. Rare earth materials, once again, loomed large in the background as industries sought alternative sources. What stands out is how these actions underline a broader strategy, the reindustrialization of America. By focusing on domestic production, the U.S. hopes to reduce dependency on foreign imports and create jobs at home. But the road ahead is far from smooth. With China expected to respond in kind, the stakes in this trade war are only getting higher. The question isn't whether tensions will escalate. It's how deeply they'll transform the global economy. China's response to the growing trade war was nothing short of assertive. By slapping tariffs of up to 74.9% on U.S. products, it signaled a willingness to fight fire with fire. This wasn't just about retaliating. It was about strategically broadening the conflict. Key regions like the EU, Japan, and Taiwan suddenly found themselves pulled into the fray as their industries became collateral damage in the escalating tensions. The global economy, already reeling, began to feel the weight of these countermeasures in industries ranging from agriculture to technology. The impact of these tariffs reached far and wide. American exporters, particularly in sectors like automotive and agricultural goods, faced sharp declines in demand. Simultaneously, global supply chains began to buckle under the strain, as companies across the EU and Asia grappled with the uncertainty of shifting trade dynamics. Even industries like semiconductors and renewable energy were not immune, with Chinese restrictions creating a ripple effect that disrupted production and innovation on an international scale. What's fascinating is how these moves reshaped global alliances and trade priorities. As countries scrambled to navigate this volatile landscape, questions arose about the long-term consequences of these economic shifts. Would this lead to the emergence of new trade blocs, or could it accelerate innovation in domestic industries? The answers remain uncertain, but one thing is clear. This trade war is far from over, and its implications are only just beginning to unfold. Renewable energy, often seen as the beacon of the future, has become an unexpected battleground in this trade war. By imposing higher tariffs on solar cells and critical minerals, the US and EU signaled a shift toward prioritizing domestic production. This move was strategic, aiming to reduce reliance on imports and foster local clean energy industries. Yet, as with any economic policy, there were unintended consequences. Tariffs not only increased the cost of renewable energy technologies, but also slowed their adoption at a time when the world desperately needs a green revolution. These measures hit global supply chains where it hurts. Solar cells and critical minerals, vital for technologies like wind turbines and electric vehicle batteries, suddenly became more expensive and harder to source. Companies dependent on these imports scrambled to adapt, with some turning to alternative suppliers and others facing delays in production. The ripple effect reached far beyond the energy sector, affecting industries like automotive and electronics that rely on these materials. It's a stark reminder of how interconnected the global economy truly is. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect is the long-term impact. Will these tariffs succeed in bolstering domestic industries, or will they hinder the progress of renewable energy at a critical moment? As the trade war continues to evolve, the stakes for sustainability and innovation couldn't be higher. And with tensions mounting, the next moves in this economic chess game could reshape the future of energy as we know it. When nations engage in trade wars, the ripple effects don't stop at borders. They cascade across industries and continents. Retaliatory tariffs from countries like China, Canada, and even smaller economies intensified global disruptions, creating bottlenecks in key sectors. Electronics, automotive, and medical equipment industries were particularly hard hit as supply chains buckled under the strain. It's as though the intricate web of international trade had been yanked apart, leaving companies scrambling to adapt and economies bracing for impact. The chaos was most evident in industries relying on precision and innovation. Imagine an automaker unable to source semiconductors or rare earth materials for electric vehicles, or a medical equipment manufacturer facing skyrocketing costs for vital components. These disruptions force companies to rethink strategies, delay projects, and in some cases, halt production entirely. Meanwhile, the global economy wavered, as supply shortages and price surges threatened stability in markets already under pressure from rising energy costs. These developments underscore a global economy that is increasingly fragile under pressure. Retaliatory tariffs and shifting alliances are forcing nations and industries to adapt quickly. As the trade war reshapes economic dynamics, the interconnectedness of markets reveals vulnerabilities that can no longer be ignored. Each move made in this conflict adds another layer to an already complex global chessboard, leaving industries and governments to grapple with the consequences. So, now you know, the trade war between the US and China isn't just about numbers or policies. It's a battle for dominance in industries that shape the future, from rare earth elements to renewable energy. But here's the million-dollar question. What other hidden strategies and power plays are shaping the world around us? The truth is, understanding these dynamics doesn't just make you informed. It puts you in a league of thinkers who see the bigger picture. Imagine being part of the few who uncover these secrets, the ones who know how rare earth bans could disrupt industries or how tariffs might shift global power. This video was just the beginning, a taste of the vast, interconnected web of knowledge that's out there. Want to stay ahead of the curve and become part of the select few who truly get it? Subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and keep diving into these eye-opening stories. The next revelation could change the way you see the world.